Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you once again from downtown Manila, late at night, and I'm happy to say my last guest for the day, but a very good one, I might add, one that we all need. If you're interested in living a longer and better life, we need this lady. She's into health. I'll tell you a bit about her. Her name is Diane Gudmundson, and Diane is good at what she does. Diane Gudmundson, her current role is transformational, I get the word out, coach, hypnotist, and human design consultant. Role is currently focused on healthcare transformation by focusing on leadership and patient-centered leadership. Very, very important. Business and company name. Her book is just about to be finished. Rooted to Rise, the rise of the patient-centered leader. The leaders we become reflect the lives we have lived. I've already a second book planned out, Operating at the Patient-Centered Leader, and a third book. Wow, she's no, stop it. She's going to be a best-selling author. When you're blind to your trauma, and that's many of you guys. That's many of you. Industry, healthcare. Been doing this for over 25 years in Western medicine as a nurse, then as a nurse practitioner. She stepped up a grade, and she knows a bit about it, guys. So reach out, find out. I tell you people all the time, it costs you nothing to have a virtual cup of coffee. I guarantee you, if she can't help you, as my phone has decided the alarm started to go off, if she can't help you, she'll know someone who does. So it's that simple. Now, phone out of the way. Spent 25 years Western medicine as a nurse. We'll be told that part. Brief description of your business. I help people see the invisible that's creating the visible, the human side of healthcare and leadership. Right? Many organizations are patient-centered, but they are not. It takes patient-centered leaders to create patient-centered care. Right? Key achievements. I developed the LISTEN framework. I did a TEDx, well, it's interesting, TEDx talk on listening in healthcare, a conference talk on listen to lead. You guys, when it comes to listening, you got to listen to what's not being said, not just what's being said, what's not being said. You got to ask. It's all about, like Columbo. Columbo was the best at that ever. Ask questions, and then wait and listen to the answers. Right? Personal model philosophy. The invisible creates outcomes with our lives and organizations we sometimes do not intend to create. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen when you ask questions, guys. So I'm going to put this out of the way, pick up my other piece of paper, and welcome to the stage, Diane. How are you, Diane?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
No, you're most welcome. Let's get this show underway. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you all those years ago to help people and be a nurse. What happened?
Well, it's very interesting when you begin to explore and see hindsight is always 2020, right? So I was in healthcare for 25 years and I was in different leadership roles and I was questioning myself, like, why are things not working the way I would expect them to work?
Yeah.
When I was leading teams, and so once you look back, you realize that we develop these patterns, right, from our life experiences. For example, when you come from either you've had a significant a trauma, let's say from your childhood, or you've had a relationship experience that has really, you've lost who you are, like you've lost your identity. And so a lot of these things lead to having beliefs that we are meant to lead in a certain way. And so what happened to me was I believed that when I was put in command, I was like the nursing supervisor. I was like, okay, I left all my soft skills at the door and I'm now in charge. Okay, so command and control, and I need to know everything. And I am the one that is responsible for everything all of a sudden, right? And so I'm here to advocate for people and do everything and all this stuff. And so what happens is now you can imagine what the people that you're leading feel like, right? Because now if you know everything, they don't need to know anything. How are they going to grow and expand?
That's right.
Now, if you're in command and control, they're going to step back, and where's the motivation to
Absolutely.
take initiative?
Yeah.
Right? Where's the motivation to take initiative? And if you're the one that's, the all-knowing, then they don't need to grow and learn as humans, right? And I remember this one specific example when I first started nursing, as there was a director of nursing who would basically, like, you know, if we needed to call the doctor for something, she would grab the phone and take over, because she was the one that could do it the best. None of us could do it like she could do it. And she would get in the way of an emergency. She basically would push you out of the way and not give you a chance to be, like, to expand and to grow as a professional, right? And so these are the early models that I learned in leadership. And so it's no wonder that once I got into a position of leadership, I was like command and control, like, you know, like, and I had that perception, but it was really heavy. It was very draining. It was very, you know, because you're carrying everything, you know, and what I discovered is I'm not the only one. This is common. Yeah. This is common for people to get into, you know, those kind of positions and to feel like this is how leadership is supposed to be. And so I basically walked away from healthcare. I walked away from Western medicine, gave up my license, and decided to do an MBA because I thought there is just something to this. I just, you know, I need to figure this out. And so by stepping away and allowing that time to just gain perspective and to study leadership, all of a sudden it was like, I was like, oh my God, I realized what I had done. I had left listening and connection and, you know, truly being people-centered. That's who I was, right? So I was living out of my authenticity. I was not being my true self. I was putting on the mask that I thought needed to be there to be a leader. But meanwhile, all of the things of my true essence, listening and caring, and yes, you have to be decisive, and yes, you have to be a leader, and you know, you have to have that strength. But it's those people skills, what people call the soft skills, like listening and connection and all that kind of stuff, that I left at the door. And that's what I realized is like, no, like when we are able to lead authentically and as our true self, it changes everything, not only for the people that you lead, but for yourself. And so here's what happened. I had an opportunity after doing my MBA, I had an opportunity to go, I got recruited to this role where I was now all of a sudden able to like put this into practice. And the difference was night and day. I could not believe the difference. So I went up and I was listening. I was a completely different style of leader. As I was working with these communities, I was up on a reserve, and I was, the difference in the people that you're leading, because you bring out the best in people. And you can just see people blossoming. And I even had nurse practitioners working for me, like I was hiring and doing all the things as a director. This nurse practitioner said to me, "Oh my God, I love this job. I'm never leaving." Right. And just by her saying that made me realize by being people-centered, that's your best recruitment and retention strategy.
Absolutely.
Because people aren't going to want to leave a person who loves and cares for them and who genuinely is not, this is not about me being in control and being at the top of a hierarchy. No, this is me leading from the side and growing you as a person and allowing you to work to your full scope, right? And so that's the thing, right? Is I just learned that, and I was able to practice it, that those soft skills, and that's where I ended up doing this TED talk, and I ended up doing this other conference talk on listening, because I was like, this is it. Because healthcare, because hey, I've had the good experiences and I've had the bad ones with leaders.
Yeah, sure.
That is the ripple effect down to the patient, is when you are a patient-centered leader, when you lead with your absolute superpowers, this is how it ripples down to the patients, and your organization, your department, your unit, your hospital has the best care because you are operating as a patient-centered leader. Now, of course, this applies to any business setting, right? It could be a business, it could be corporation, and I have clients that are working, let's say, in the feed industry and just want to, like maybe they have recruitment issues. And so leading with a people-centered focus, right? For me, I'm in healthcare, so I think patient-centered because that's the end users of our service. But in any industry, when you lead from the heart and you lead and your people are most important, and that you're a guide, you are
right. That's your role.
an advocate. And it makes your job easy.
Yeah.
And that's what I discovered.
Tell me, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how are you overcoming it on a day-to-day basis?
And I would say the most challenging thing that at least currently now, I'm in the middle of writing this book, and I'm working with leaders, is I notice that a lot of leaders that I'm connecting with,
Mm-hmm.
they're not self-aware. They're not seeing that there's deeper issues, right? That there's something that's causing you to make decisions this way, or there's something that's causing you to behave this way, like whether it's go silent or, jump in and take too much responsibility, or work 16 hours and take on everybody's problems. Like, it's the lack of self-awareness in the people I'm talking to that it breaks my heart, right? Because I think there's such an easier way, right? So to me, that's the challenge, is to help people to become problem aware,
Mm-hmm.
to realize that, man, they could transform their life if they only understood this whole, the patterns that you bring to your leadership.
Be
right?
prepared to change. You got to be prepared to change.
Right.
Change, learn, adapt, change on the run if need be.
Yeah.
Tell me, in your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have contributed to your amazing success?
And I would have told you 10 years ago that it would be that I'm really good at being bossy, and that I have no problems telling people what to do, and I am good at just jumping in and doing things better because I know how to do things. And believe me, when I went up north, I had 25 years of experience, and so I knew a lot of stuff, right? I know a lot of stuff. But the thing is that here's the key, is the challenge is to realize that there's amazing people around you that have incredible strengths and skills and talents.
Yeah.
And you got to be off to the side and realize that if you're able to take the fact that you're kind of in that place where you feel like you know everything, if you're able to just be humble and to realize the people around you have way more strengths than you do.
Yes, in their own
on
way.
So many levels, right? And then to grow that and to expand on that in the people around you. Now that is going to create a situation where, your whole life and experience is going to become easier because, to see the value in the people.
You've got amazing empathy, Diane. That's a big one for you. You've got amazing empathy, my friend. And that's a big one. You need that empathy. And you've learned the empathy, or you already had it being a nurse. And then it comes the listening skills. That's the skill. It's a skill. It's set skill, guys. I've never mastered it. I talk too much, but listening's a great thing. And hearing what's not being said, not just what's being said, guys, but what's not being said, and get that out by asking questions. Care. C-A-R-E, just care, right? It'll help.
Yeah, and you're right, Jeff, because and that was part of my TED talk was I developed this listen framework, so LISTEN, and so the L is to listen to not only the words but what's behind the words, and I is to involve some of those key aspects of people that you probably never think impact them, whether it's team or personal or whatever it is, and then S is to really understand and listen enough to really to see and feel people's strengths. Mm-hmm. Right? So it could be team strengths, it could be individual strengths, and so the LIS specifically is, if you've heard of Stephen Covey, he says seek first to understand, and so those first three steps, LIS, like the listen, involve, and strengthen, is really what creates the ability to understand what's going on around you. And we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
That's right. Funny enough, I have a funny saying. It's made me millions of dollars, right? And the saying is this, and I'll teach it to all you people out there. Listen to everybody, the gardener, the janitor, everybody, the doctor. Some of the best ideas come out of the mouths of idiots. They may have the solution that you're looking for. Because, and truly, I've had people lower down the totem pole tell me things. They had the missing link that I was missing. And I thought, oh, I didn't think of that. And it completed my puzzle, and I went on to make millions. So there you go. Listen to everybody.
But you're right. Yeah, you're right, Jeff, because and I see it like I see everybody as equal. So whether you're the CEO or you're the janitor or you're the housekeeper, and that's why when I went up north, when I did team meetings, I brought in the housekeeper, I brought in the nurses, the doctors, the local community person, because when you bring all those brains together, it's incredible what comes out when you give people an opportunity to speak and to be seen, because they see and hear and understand things on a completely different level than what you think, because they're on the grassroots, they're in the weeds, so to speak, and so they really can see things differently.
That's a very good one. In the weeds is a very good analogy. That's where the stuff is, in the weeds. That's where it's hiding.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see it sometimes. It's in the weeds. Right. Tell us about, you've done so much. How do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field as you do? What's your secret there?
I think part of what I'm doing is, as I'm writing, I continually have these aha moments. And so what I do is, as I write about them, and then I'm able to expand on those concepts. And of course, as I work with people, and I get really excited because I do these sessions with people, because when we move from a place of realizing that we have a mask on, and that becoming our authentic self is the biggest superpower we can have, no matter whether we're in healthcare or business or whatever it is, because life becomes easy when you don't have to wear masks, right? So I'm doing these sessions with people to really discover their true essence. And so that really keeps me motivated, because I had a nurse practitioner just the other day who was in tears. She had been practicing for 20 years and realized that she had been operating out of her authenticity, and that it was creating so much difficulty in her life. And so that, just helping people to discover their true authentic self, is something that motivates me every day, and I learn new things all the time.
Relax, be yourself. Right, tell me, you've done so much. Tell us a recent project or achievement of your many. Tell us one you're particularly proud of.
I would have to say that designing these self-discovery sessions has been the biggest thing for me, honestly, because I've been offering them at a kind of a lower rate, just to get more people in, so that I can serve more people, and just seeing how people are lit up and how excited they are to really discover their authentic self. And so it's way more critical to your life and to your success and your peace and your sense of freedom to really be able to operate inside your authentic self. And I learned those lessons for myself, so I'm so happy to be able to offer that for others.
Yeah, you and I both got something. We've got two things that are key, guys. You'll find out later in life. Freedom is a fantastic one, and passion. When you got passion and freedom, it's the ultimate. It's just like, I can't explain it. It's just so good. It's like being on drugs, right? It's so good.
Yeah.
Right?
Life doesn't feel like work, right?
Absolutely. That's right. I mean, I get down a rabbit hole. I'll tell my girl, we're going to go at 6 o'clock, and I'll start doing something. And she's so patient. I'll still be here at 7:30, just putting the final touches to it. But I don't care. I want to get it right, and I want to get it out there and help people. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And about motivation, back to I always say, replace the word motivation, guys, with basically, what's the word? Discipline. It's about discipline, guys. Have discipline. If you've got discipline in your life, you go a long way. No one's going to motivate rah every morning. You got to have that system and some discipline. You don't want to go to the gym 3 times a week. Just go. You don't feel like going all the time, but have that discipline. You go the 3 times, you get the results. You don't go, you won't get the results. It's pretty simple stuff, guys. Tell me.
Yeah.
A 20-year-old comes to you, and a son, a daughter, a niece, or a nephew, and says, I've just left school. What should I do with myself? What would your advice be?
I would say the most important thing is, what have you always dreamed of?
Yeah, that's
What is
right.
it that you
You're great.
love? And really explore the depths of what they love, because too many people think, oh, I should do this, or I've been told I should be in this
Oh,
field, or I should do that because, this and that. But it's like, no, go inside in your heart, in your soul, and what have you always loved? Is there something you're obsessed about? Is there something that when you start doing it, you're just like, time just disappears, right? And
yeah,
this is where you'll get the clues about what your purpose is in life.
yeah. I tell
Yeah.
people, travel. Travel. Your mum might want you to be an
Yes.
engineer. Dad wants you to be a doctor. Follow your dreams. Do what you want to do. And I tell you, when you're 20, guys, you can stuff it up for 10 years. You'll only be 30. You've still got your whole life ahead of you. You've had fun, and you've got your whole life, plenty of time to settle down. You've got your whole life ahead of you. So you go out and find out what you want to do, and then reach out to someone like Diana or myself, if that's the right field, and get a mentor. Get someone who's already done it. They're 20 or 30
Yeah.
years ahead of you, and you can learn so much so quickly and become better at what you do by having, everyone needs a cheer squad and a mentor, guys. Get a mentor, right? Moving
Yeah,
on.
I agree.
Looking ahead, you're only at base camp. You're a young woman. Looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations as to keep climbing that mountain? What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to, if I look at my mission, like if I look at the big picture, like 30,000 foot view,
The
is
legacy?
I dream on people who are in a vulnerable situation, that being heard and seen. And so I think back to, okay, so where did this come from? Well, children are vulnerable. Children, and so I was not seen or heard as a kid, right? And so I developed this almost like a driving force that people deserve to be heard,
Yeah.
and so now who are the other people that are very vulnerable? Is people who are put into the patient, become a patient. None of us want to be a patient.
Of
Let's
course.
be real. But you are in your most vulnerable state when you're
Absolutely.
presenting to hospital, when you're scared, when you're in a situation. So guess what? That is a scenario where those people deserve to be heard and seen, and given an opportunity to be understood, because that is going to change the face of healthcare. And so that, to me, is the deepest passion that I have that's carrying me forward, is patient-centered care is everything, because it really comes down to people being heard and seen and understood.
I love it. You've articulated that very well. Tell our listeners, Diane, what's the best way to reach out and find about you and your remarkable services? What would be the best way to do that?
And so I would say the best way to get to know me, that is, if you want to call it a low barrier to entry, it's easy, is just to book a consultation with me. I have them at a very low rate, just to book, even a 45-minute session to really dig into,
Yeah.
what is it that your life, what is it that's happening? What's making you tick? What is your tendencies? What are some funny little things that you've noticed that you're wondering, like, why do I do that, right? And so just to get to know and understand your authentic self at the deepest level, that one session can peel away so much. So that, I would say, that is the best way to get started.
There's an invitation. And guys, she's on LinkedIn. And on that subject, guys, this is like talking to a friend. What happens with these interviews? They're very unique, and I'm very unique. We turn them into a mini movie, and that mini movie is a blockbuster all about you. And once you've got that movie, you can put it on your email, you can put it on your website, you can put it and this is what we do for you. We put it on Quora, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, YouTube, and school, with all your social media links, potentially putting you in front of hundreds of prospects. We do that once, then your job is to do it forever and keep doing it, because it's your story. Get your story
Yeah.
out there, guys. I want to tell you something. It's $20,000 for a TV commercial, and guess what? You think it's fantastic. However, when it comes on, people jump up, they grab a beer, they grab a hot dog, they go to the toilet, they miss the whole darn thing, right? 10 radio spots in your city set you back $3,000 to $5,000. They'll play them like they promised you at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when people are asleep. Come on, 15 minutes of fame. It's all about you. We'll put you across all the social media platforms and make you more famous than what you already are. Now, we're about to wrap it up shortly, but before we do that, tell us a fun fact about yourself, Diane, that most people do not know. What's that fun fact? You're not working all the time. What's the fun fact?
I would say that a lot of people don't realize this, but I'm very musical, and I've been playing the piano since I was 5.
Wow.
And I love to sing, but I don't sing in public.
That's awesome. Playing the piano, that's what a talent. That's a talent in itself. That's awesome. That's awesome. Years ago, I used to have a buddy of mine who was very, very talented. In fact, his brother, his musical family, his brother was support act to Liberace around the world. His actual brother, right? He'd come on
Wow.
to play first before Liberace. Now, and my friend was obviously nearly equally as talented. He was my buddy. We used to go around to little bars and stuff, and we'd see a piano, and we'd go over. We wouldn't ask. We'd just go over and open it up and start playing. And sometimes they'd come over and they get angry and go, "What are you guys doing?" And I say, "Excuse me, we're entertaining your crowd, and I think we should have 2 steaks and as many beers as we want. So go back and get us a steak and bring the beers." And the guy go, he'd look around, everyone was so happy, and go, "Oh, okay, okay." That was a lot of fun. We did that often, right?
Oh, that's funny.
That's a side thing. But yeah, but playing the piano, that's and I'm sure it's so relaxing for you too.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Anyway, we wrap it up. Any last words for our wonderful audience, Diane? What would you like to tell our audience before we wrap it up?
And I would say that ultimately, this is what I see and experience and feel. It's so important because we're programmed for many, many years, and we're we have all these layers of masks and things that we've been taught that we should be. And
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is to be able to peel those away to the root of who you are and live life like that, because that's going to give you the most fulfilling life.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks very much, Diane.